I built Hagrid's Hut from Harry Potter because I wanted to see if I could recreate my favorite childhood movie scene and build every piece from scratch. But could I build a complicated octagon roof strong enough to hold my weight, make foam look like stone, and somehow actually finish all of this before September 1st? What started as a wild idea led to a trip to Scotland searching for Hagrid's Hut with my dad, celebrating him being cancer-free, and now it's turned into the most ambitious project I have ever attempted. I'm facing the hardest build challenges of my life, racing the clock to finish, and I'm not even sure if this build plan will work. This is episode 2 of a 3-part series of the Hagrid's Hut build. Growing up in the mid-90s was different. A bike meant total freedom for a kid, trucks didn't cost a fortune, VHS tapes lined every shelf in the house, and a late night playing video games in the living room, drinking soda with your best friend, that was about as good as it got. Kids played outside until the streetlights came on, vacations were simple and affordable, you worried about your siblings eavesdropping on your phone calls, not about your phone tracking you. Dads built the coolest backyard forts without needing HOA approval, and the hardest choice you had to make all week was, what movie were you going to pick out at Blockbuster for family movie night? Technology was racing forward, and it felt like every other week a new movie came out you had to see. In 2001, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone hit theaters, and kids everywhere watched the classroom clock tick by, just waiting for the bell to ring so they could pile into the family car and go see it. That was a time before cell phones glued us to screens, before constant news headlines divided us, a time where magic felt real. That's the feeling I'm trying to recreate for my son in our backyard, and that's why this project means so much to me. In episode 1, this whole crazy idea went from sketches on paper to something real. We designed the hut, turning inspiration from Scotland and the Harry Potter films into a plan I hoped would work in real life. Molly helped me haul home all the materials I would need, sheets of plywood, stacks of lumber, and every screw and nail I thought I could possibly need to pull this off. I laid out and built the beam foundation, a rock-solid base that would allow us to move this hut for a special plan I have. From there, I cut and assembled the octagon-shaped floor framing, and Molly helped me set the plywood flooring in place. As a finishing touch, I carefully routed a floor pattern into the plywood, and I even carved a little hippogriff right in the center. By the time that floor was finished, I felt like we had made real progress, but this was only just the beginning. This was the easy part, the calm before the storm, because what comes next is where the real challenge begins. Walls. Whenever you think of a wall, you probably think of something like this, a traditionally built stick-framed wall. However, Hagrid's Hut is built out of stone, and we can't afford to build it out of stone, so here's the game plan on how we're going to be using traditional framing methods to create Hagrid's Hut. Before we go further, let's talk about what a typical wall construction looks like. We usually start off with some 2x4 wall studs, and they're typically spaced around 16 inches apart. We also have what's called a doubled up top plate, which holds the entire wall system together, and a bottom sill plate, which is often treated. When you combine 4 of these structures together, you can build a house. It's quite simple. However, for Hagrid's Hut, things are going to be a bit more challenging. Starting off here with the bottom plate, which conveniently runs all the way around the octagon, using 22.5 degree angles, as well as bottom plate. Yeah, I'm not going to lie, even I was getting confused watching that, so here's all you really need to know. This thing's an octagon, it leans inwards, okay? So that means that all of our wall studs like this, they need to be cut on an angle so that they can lean inwards. But all of these aren't the same length. The ones in the middle of the wall are a different length than the ones on the corner of the wall, which makes it quite complicated, and there's just a whole lot of angles and things going on, and I didn't do so well in geometry, so bless my heart, because this is going to be a challenge. Alright, we officially have the floor skids done, we have the floor joists done, we even have the plywood subfloor done. Now we're going to start working on framing up all these walls, and I am being very bold, and I am cutting every single board out before we ever even start. I'm putting a lot of faith in my math skills and the computer. Fingers crossed I got all this right. If I did, we're going to have a good rest of the day. If I didn't, we're going to have a really bad rest of the day. And this was the big moment of truth, because all of these 22.5-degree angles were about to add up, and we were going to see if these boards fit the octagon.
So here's the deal, this ring that I just built on the inside of the other one is actually the top plate. Here you can see the edges, and back here you can actually see the top plate. So this is what's gonna sit right on top of all of these studs. I wanted to build it before I did the studs so that I could get it on top, but now I'm realizing that I don't think I could actually lift it up on top of the studs if they were in there. This is the part where my plan sort of ended. I just thought if I got half of them up, then somehow in my head I could get that whole frame lifted up on top. How hard could it be?
So here's my clever plan. I decided to go ahead and screw some of these 2x4s across the top plate frame that I had created. That way it would hopefully stay together when I went to lift it, because my biggest fear here was that when I went to lift it, the whole thing would just collapse on top of my head. So fingers crossed this actually works out.
I mean, what could go wrong? Ho, 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 ho. So it's either gonna go really well or really bad. Let's just see how heavy it is. Okay, yep, it's pretty heavy. I need to, like, you know, get it above my head. There's no one at the house right now to help me, and Pops is at work. He's always working. He needs to retire and just come work with me. I guess that's still work, but... All right, Dylan. Okay. Might need to back out first. Oh yeah. Come on. Come on. Please be the right measurements. 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 Okay. 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 Oh. Oh no. Oh no. This is a heavy enough counterweight. Oh. Now, how do I know if this is square or plumb or whatever you call it? I genuinely no clue. As wobbly as this is, we better get some screws in it. We got all of our wall studs up, and it's time to fill in the gaps. So here's our wall studs, remember? But we also have windows and a door here, so we gotta do the door and window frames.
I was pretty darn excited with the way this thing was turning out, and just as I looked up from finishing up this frame, I noticed Molly and Owen were headed out to check it out.
You coming out to supervise?
Oh,
hey, buddy.
Coming to see. That's crazy. That's legit.
Legit?
Yeah. That is... I don't have words, honestly. Looks like all your math is paying off.
Normally do that.
It is shocking to me that nearly a year has already gone by since little Owen came into this world, and I can't emphasize this enough. The light that he brings into our life is unlike anything that I've ever experienced ever before. And it's moments like these, that little bitty grin right there. Gosh, it's everything.
Around the window's gonna be a little tall for you right now. I'm over the moon about the way that this whole framing came out. It's better than I could have ever have dreamed of it being. I mean, honestly didn't know I could do that. That was a very intimidating process for me, and it went smoothly, thank goodness. And I think it looks really awesome. And I can definitely use all the confidence I can get because the roof of this structure is gonna be absolutely insane to frame.
With the walls successfully framed up, it was time to turn our attention to the plywood sheathing to go around the outside of the hut. This was not only gonna add a ton of extra strength, but it was also gonna help us waterproof this thing, and it was gonna be the interior of the hut. You'll have to wait to see how that turns out because I think it's gonna be pretty sweet. But for now, we have a ton of cutting to do, so let's get after it.
All right, it's time to sheathe these walls. Let's get to it.
So this problem made my brain pretty much go mush. I have the top plate and the bottom plate of this wall, but getting those two aligned turned out to be quite tricky. My only real solution here was to do the 4 opposing sides first and then just go around with the level back and forth until I got something that was, quote, close enough. And you know what? I would say it is close enough. Don't look too close, just it's close enough, okay? Just know that it was close enough. That's all you need to know.
Nice. Yeah, there's no way to get into this thing now. This is actually sick. I got the old pail of random old paint out. We're gonna give this whole thing a coating of paint because this plywood is not exterior rated plywood, and there's a potential it gets wet now and in the future when this thing is done. And instead of putting an expensive moisture barrier around this thing that wouldn't allow our foam to stick well to it, more on that later, I just decided to use an exterior paint.
With a fresh coat of paint on the hut, it was really starting to take shape, and I got even more excited because Pops was headed over after work to check this thing out, and I just knew that he was going to have an awesome reaction and would give us some real insight and words of wisdom. So let's listen into what he had to say.
That's a cool design for sure. It would be a really cool shooting house with that big old, when you get a big top one, you can put a stack in it and have a fire in there.
I shouldn't be shocked by that. Pops wants to turn this thing into a deer hunting stand, complete with a fire and everything. Get dirty feet. Get your dirty feet. Hey!
Pops was kind enough to come by and lend me his awesome table saw right here so that I can make a few rip cuts so that we can finish up these windows and get the whole frames and things in place. So let's knock them out. All right, let's build us a window frame. One window frame down. Oh, yeah. I'm sure you can hear that, and you can see how dark it's gotten. There's a big thunderstorm rolling in. We gotta get things picked up and hope our little trench over there holds. Holy moly. I'm getting rained on right here. So it's already hitting this. Our trench is kind of working. Still, all the rain's coming in sideways. Holy moly.
Time and time again, these rainstorms have attempted to delay and even destroy this project, but I refuse to give up. And so while the rain thunders down, I'm going to start working on building the front porch of the hut. It's moments like these in projects that for me are the hardest. I had a plan for today, but unfortunately things out of my control make it to where that is not possible. And now I have to start working on something that I wasn't mentally prepared for yet. And those are the moments in projects that really hit me the hardest, that are the hardest to overcome.
Last night I woke up to a major thunderstorm happening, and I checked our security cameras, and the entire camp is a disaster zone. The wind picked up and blew everything around, even though I had stuff strapped down. This feels like a huge blow. I was getting ready to get started on doing all the foam today. The foam is blown off of the hut. It's all over the yard and stuff. And I'm just hoping that my sheets didn't get too badly damaged. But I gotta start cleaning some stuff up. It's still raining pretty bad. Not a great situation.
After many delays and setbacks, I can't tell you how excited I was to finally make it to Foam Day. So here's my game plan of how I'm going to turn foam into stone. As you can see, we have the plywood sheathing on already, but we need to add foam to it. And how are we going to attach that foam? Well, we're going to be using an adhesive. We're going to do straight long stripes all the way down the sheathing so that if water gets behind it, water can get out of the bottom. Adhesive won't be enough, so we need to use some screws with very large washers, and we're just going to have to figure out how to cover these up later. With the foam sheets attached, we can start drawing on lines for all of our stones, and then we're going to have to carve into the foam all of these stone layouts, which I'm expecting to be probably the hardest part of the entire project. The foam needs to be coated, and I'm going to be using a special concrete mixture, but this is by far the biggest question mark on the entire project. Will this stuff actually look like stone, and more importantly, will it be durable? Oh, and we can't forget that we have to cut all this foam on a compound angle.
Foam snow. Foam snow. Foam snow. Oh no. What's this? Hot. Let's go.
Whoa. I hate even trying to make this angle cut. It's like I'm just gonna mess up this whole piece. Wrist says that's 22.5. I feel like this is a bit of a Hail Mary here. I don't see this going so well. I don't have a great feeling about this. Do I do this? Do I take this risk? Steady hand. Dang, it looks actually not too bad. This might work. See if I can have the finesse needed to make this happen.
I was blown away when using this hot knife and the ability to make really complicated cuts pretty darn accurately, and including these compound angles, which terrified me. Unfortunately, all the foam that I had available to me had a foil side and a plastic wrap side, and I had to remove all of that before I could continue. Many of my fears were all coming to a head right in this moment. Would this adhesive actually stick the foam to the plywood? Would it stay there? And would those cuts that I make actually work out and have all this foam align around an octagon?
Just trying to get centered up the best I can. Wow, that stuff works. Oh, this is giving me some confidence here. It really is sticking pretty well, actually. Dang. That's awesome.
With the adhesive giving promising results, it was time to back everything up with some screws and washers.
I'm feeling really good about this, actually. Dang. This might actually work. That's gonna be way too much. Oh, I just got stung by a yellow jacket. Ugh. Holy crap, that hurts. Ah. Oh man, all right, can I have just like half a second break? Look at my dang gun over here. This is just a disaster. All right, we just gotta keep going.
Even though there's still a whole lot of foam left to be put on this hut, this felt like such a big milestone, and I was so grateful that everything was working out, because when I started this project, I honestly had no idea whether this glue would even hold this foam.
Wow. That's cool. Where'd you go? Is it going good? What's a hot knife?
You want to watch a hot knife, Bubby? Hot knives are fun.
Is it electric? Oh, this is my kind of tool.
I just freehanded it, and they're all
Are
like,
you
really
serious?
close.
Okay, we're gonna go get the mail.
All right, have fun.
There ended up being this sort of awkward gap here at the top of the foam where it meets the actual top of the plywood, so I decided why not just use more foam in the form of spray foam to fill in this gap, and we'll cut it down later.
This is another big step, feels like. We're putting on the first side panel here on the little porch area. I'm using a different foam, a little bit denser foam. It doesn't stick as well to the substrate. It also doesn't stick as well to the coating I'm gonna put on it apparently, but it's a lot denser. So this high impact area, the floor, these areas where you walk in and out, they'll be potentially a little bit stronger. So that's the reason for using this. Last night I was laying in bed and I realized that I was about to make a huge mistake on this project. And the problem is that right up here at the top of this foam, our roof rafters are gonna be coming down and they might contact this. I hope that I've gotten it right, but I don't know for sure. And the only way to know for sure is to actually build the roof. So I'm going to stop working on foam today and start working on this super complicated roof, which I've honestly just been putting off because it makes my head spin just thinking about how it's all gonna go up there. It's important we do it in the right order of operations though, so that we can get that transition just right up there. So let's bite the bullet and get to mathing, because there's gonna be a whole lot of math involved in this roof.
With the top plate already in place, we can move on to stage 2, which is creating these 16 critically important lower rafters, which are going to support the entire rest of the roof. Stage 3 involves creating yet another octagon, which is what is going to connect all of the 16 lower rafters together. Stage 4 is where things are going to get quite tricky, because these upper rafters are so steep, we're going to have to create a custom octagon block to connect all of them together. The last step in the roof structure will be tying everything together with plywood sheathing. We've got a lot of work to do, so we better get started.
I've been cutting for what feels like an eternity, but I'm finally done. I think this is every piece that I'm going to need to do the entire roof framing. I can't tell you how happy I'll be if this all goes to plan, because there is a whole lot going on here that could go wrong that would make this not work out. And yeah, it'd be a huge setback if this doesn't work. I'll just leave it at that. I don't know what to say right now. This looks insane. I'm not exactly sure why I think it's gonna help to pre-assemble this ring, but I did anyway. And we're gonna give this a shot. Yeah, this will be tough. This will be real tough. Don't know how I'm gonna get this over the camera. I didn't think about that. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's heavy. Oh, it's heavy. Oh, it's heavy. All right, this is it. Big boys are going in. Let's get it to go into place. This is the last piece. It's almost bittersweet because I've just so thoroughly enjoyed this process. I don't even know what to say, guys. This is the coolest thing I have ever built, by and far. Like, nothing in my mind comes even close. This is so cool. Look at what Dada's been working on. Look.
You have the roof on. Oh my gosh, that, Dylan, it's gonna look legit. It's gonna look so real.
And hopefully it should be strong now, even though I don't have a bunch of screws in it. I should be able to stand up here. Oh yeah, she's sturdy.
With time quickly running out on this project, I was left with no choice but to pull out the lights and start working well into the dark. With just 10 days remaining on this project, it's safe to say that I might have gotten a little in over my head, but that's not going to stop me. We're just going to keep on going and see what happens.
If you remember, there's actually a window behind this foam that we never cut out, but thankfully, I know just what to do. OcuCut, window. That's much better.
The last pieces of foam were going in, and I was starting to get pretty nervous because that meant the next step would be carving this foam. And so I'm not gonna lie, I took a little extra time here, probably longer than I needed to, just so that I can mentally prepare a bit more for what's to come. The final little detail that I wanted to add was right above the window. I wanted to add a block of foam there so that hopefully I can carve it into what looks like a large slab of stone that bridges all the way across the window. The time had finally come to start carving this foam. I grabbed a Sharpie and a scrap piece of foam and started drawing out lines to give myself a reference guide. Then I came back with a wire brush and started carving in the lines, which worked really well. But it was super messy, so I decided to go back with a box cutter and try that instead. That worked a whole lot better, but was still pretty messy, and so finally I ended up using the hot knife, which I was scared of using, but ultimately worked a lot better. And then I came back with a heat gun, and that worked perfectly to create realistic texture for the stone.
I don't even quite know what to say, to be honest. This far exceeds my expectations. Far exceeds it. If I can get something to look like this on there, this thing might actually look legit. This gives me so much more confidence. I was so nervous coming in today. I knew today was the big day of carving, and I really didn't want to mess it up, but this gives me that glimmer of hope that we might just pull this thing off. We might just do it. I have a sample of what the wall could possibly look like.
Is it good?
And trying some stuff out. You ready for this? You hold it and then turn it around. Yeah.
Yes. How do you do that?
Well, I cut the lines first with a blade and then the heat gun.
Yeah.
It's gonna look dang good, ain't it?
Look, it's actually real.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It might actually work, huh?
It's gonna look real.
I mean, I have to do it at a huge scale now, and that's terrifying, but
But you know what? Stacked stone is just
random.
random. You got it.
Look at it.
I know. It already looks real.
It's pretty dang good.
Good job.
Well, I mean, don't save that for later. I'll see if I can pull it off at scale.
I think so.
All right, here goes nothing. I feel like the back is probably the safest bet on where to start. Whew. All right, here goes nothing. You can do this, Dylan. Oh, this is so freaking scary. Very fun. Check this out, right?
Yeah. Oh, wow. That looked really cool. So you just put that up there and then cut that in there?
As day one of carving the hut comes to an end, I have to say that it went so much better than I expected, and all the fears that I had coming into this were starting to be relieved, and I was starting to have some hope that this whole thing might actually look like stone when it's done. Regardless, it was taking quite a bit longer than expected, so here's me finishing the day off again in the dark.
Oh. Golly. Guys, it's 5 p.m. right now. I thought I was going to be done carving this stuff before lunch yesterday and then be able to coat it the rest of the day yesterday, because I knew it was going to rain today. It's going to rain even harder tomorrow apparently, and I think I might have hit my body's limit today. I don't know if it's the carving or if it's just everything combined, but I can't afford not to be working on this project. I don't have enough time to do that. I've got to do as much as I can every single day. I've set myself the super ambitious goal. It's kicking my butt. And the only thing I really know to do is to just keep going after it, because if I don't, then I'll resent not giving it my all, I guess, you know. Mentally and physically right now, this is the lowest point of this project. Just being real with you guys. It's rained all day. My body is absolutely toasted. You wanna go see what Dada's been working on? Hey. Yeah?
Yeah?
Okay, let's go see.
Stop. Oh my gosh. Hey, buddy. There's a window.
What did you think?
What? What's all that?
You wanna help Dada? Do you wanna carve some of it? Here, let's get you to carve some of it. You'll like this. You ready? Get this guy right here. This is gonna be yours. Oh, look. Oh. I think we need to put your initials somewhere in here, bud. Not too shabby.
That's officially yours.
They're going for the rain gets in. You wanna go in before the rain gets in? Alright, hold on quick before the rain gets in.
Come on, the doggies are outside too.
With that much needed motivation out of the way, I got back to work carving here on the hut, and I started focusing in here on the window details because they are some of the most important to create a convincing stone look. And I also wanted to take time to bevel all the window sills so that water would run out and away from the windows whenever we were done with them.
I'm making it, and I think I'm gonna finish this out by sunset. Just for reference, guys, the last side that I did took 1 hour. And so after doing 8 sides, you know, I've gotten a lot better. But that just goes to show you that each one of these sides is taking 1+ hours. At the beginning, it was probably taking closer to 1.5 hours to 2 hours before I got it, you know, sort of dialed in. So this has taken an extremely long time. I really struggle to share my full emotions and capture kind of like how happy I truly am. So I just want to let you know that this is about as happy as Dylan can get with a project. I am over the moon with this, and so without further ado, here is the fully carved Hagrid's Hut.
Dude! Let's go! Man, that's so sick!
Ooh, it looks like it. It does.
Bro, that's crazy!
Last episode, we launched the limited edition Woodbrew Hut shirt, and I promised to put every dollar right back into making better content. The response was truly incredible. Most sizes sold out, and as a thank you, I decided to make this episode completely sponsor free. So if you would like to support the next big project, this is your chance. Every shirt is 100% made in the USA, and Molly and I personally print, pack, and ship each one from our home. They're back in stock right now, but only for a short time while the series is going, and once they're gone, they're gone. Thank you so much for believing in us and letting us keep building videos like this one. Grab yours today at provenhands.com.
Ooh, that's gonna be cool.
What you think, sweetie? Did I do good?
So good, of course.
Thank you to every single one of you that has helped make this crazy dream project idea come to life. You would be shocked to know how much a simple comment, view, or share goes in making a project like this happen. And I just want to say, from the bottom of my heart, thank every single one of you. And I can't wait to share episode 3 with you guys because it is going to be absolutely epic. From trying to figure out how to coat the entire hut in concrete and spilling it all over myself in the process, to building an epic roof with pops, trying to figure out all sorts of problems along the way, and trying to hit our September 1st deadline. Episode 3 is one you're not going to want to miss. I'll see you guys then. Thank you so much for the love and support.